Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 20 years, as she's developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this evening. We have a boatload of callers on hold. This has been so fun with all these callers calling in here in the last several months, and I will get to as many of those as I can. We've also had several questions that have been submitted online, and I will get to those as time allows. The reason why I do this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. And we got a bunch of unanswerable questions coming from Las Vegas right now because this is the week where there was the massacre out of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, and the authorities are trying like crazy to figure out what's going on and what motivated this shooter. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Vegas, everybody that was at that concert, everybody who's a family member or a friend to anybody that was hurt or killed, God forbid, in one of those, in that shooting, and even to everybody that was there, because my goodness, how traumatic. But thoughts and prayers to everybody. Also to all of the folks in the hurricane-ravaged areas and the earthquake-ravaged areas as well, as you guys clean up. I was in Florida last week and got to drive with a friend through Palm Beach, and I was surprised how much foliage was destroyed and is being cleaned up in the area now, even to the point where homes that have big hedges, rows of hedges along the ocean front, they're just burned, I believe, from the salt, the sea air spray, the salt in the sea air spray. So lots of stuff going on all around, and hugs and prayers to everybody in all of those areas. Well, let's go ahead and go to the phones, and I believe our first caller is Mary Jo. Hi, Mary Jo, are you with us?
I am. Thank you for taking my call, Julie.
You are so welcome. How are you, girl?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Terrific. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Western Mass.
Okay. Terrific. Like where?
In the Springfield area.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, you got a question for me?
I do. Two questions, and one of them is about my heart. So for a good year and a half, bless you,
Thank you.
I've been feeling it's sort of skipping beats, racing. I've had some dizziness. A lot of it happens when I lay down, and it's been increasing as time has been going by. And I've had two significant events when I've been driving where I was like, is this something going on with my heart? Is this anxiety? What's going on? And then the other question about my heart is more about my daughter, who is had quite a lot of health challenges and some developmental delays, and she's on track right now. We're working some stuff out, but I'm just wondering if there's anything we can do to help support her development and in continued improvement.
Okay, what's your daughter's name?
Josephine.
Okay. After her mama, by any chance?
Yeah. Her great-grandma.
Yeah. Great-grandma. How cool is that? Well, good.
Yeah.
My mom's name was Mary Jo, and you don't hear that name very often.
No,
so,
you don't.
I loved seeing yours because, like I said, I don't see it very often. But
thank you.
Yeah, special place in my heart for that name. She's in heaven directing traffic for all of us. So what I'm going to do, Mary Jo, is I'm going to get you on my radar. And how I do that is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit so that I'm vibrating very fast. our spirits are the everlasting part of us, and they end up being in human bodies to have the human experience. And when we're in the body, when we're in physical state, we vibrate at a slower rate simply because the body has mass. So by raising my vibrational level, I'm going to close my eyes. It'll be like I have a big screen TV in my head, and I'll watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama, and it will go northeast and find you in Massachusetts. And then I'm going to shoot energy from your feet up through the top of your head, and it's almost as if I have a big screen TV in my head, and I can see X-rays, MRIs, CT scans, things like that. So I'm going to get you on my radar. Let me see what's going on. By the way, I turn this on and off at will. It takes me a nanosecond to do it. I don't walk around scanning people for several reasons. First of all, I don't think it's ethical to do that. Second of all, it's none of my darn business. And third of all, I don't really want to know. So here we go. Here goes laser beam heading to you in mass. Okay, got you. Shooting energy through you. All right. Okay. Your heart, it's interesting. Normally when I get somebody on my radar, Mary Jo, I'm looking at them from the front. In your case, I'm looking at you from behind. So let me see what's going on. Your heart energy field, it's called a chakra. There are several chakras or energy centers in the body. Yours is spinning backwards. So I'm going to turn you around in the front. Let me get that thing going in the right direction, and then we'll see what's going on. You do have, there's some electrical stuff going on. Have you been to see a cardiologist yet?
Yes, and I've been doing some studies, but I'm waiting to get the answer. So.
Okay. All right. They may tell you that they want to do an ablation, which will get the heart into rhythm, because what I'm watching happen right now is I'm watching healing that's an energetic ablation. Have they talked to you about ablation yet?
No, not at all. They haven't even told me what it is that's going on.
Okay. They talk about hearts and having sinus rhythm. You can Google some of this stuff, and it will make sense. But what an ablation is they'll basically shock the heart with an electric current, and it gets the heart beating in its regular rhythm. What I'm watching happen now is I'm watching an energetic procedure like that happen, except mine's much more elementary, because you know those clips that you put on a car battery when you're trying to jump a car?
Yep.
Those connector clips. That's kind of what I see positioned all around your heart, and I'm watching energy, electricity, spin it in the right direction so that the heart is in sinus rhythm. So, okay, that's done. All right, let me shoot energy through you again. All right, you look great then. I would be prepared for that. There's a chance that this energetic healing that I just watched happen will fix it. But oftentimes the energetic healing complements the regular Western medicine healing as we know it. So study up on ablation. It's done all the time in all the hospitals all across the country, and it's usually very, very successful.
Okay.
So be prepared for that. All right, let me go to Josephine and see if she'll let me scan her. By the way, on the heart thing, you're going to make a full recovery. Everything's good.
Thank you.
Everything's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. You just need a little bit of a tune-up. So I think it's going to take you in for a little tune-up. And hopefully this energetic healing will fix it. That would be marvelous.
That would be.
So let's hope
Thank
that happens. Okay, Josephine, I'm connecting Josephine from you. She looks little. How old is she?
She's 8.5.
Okay. She looks little. All right. So, Josephine, I'm with your mom. I'm asking her permission telepathically, her spirit, if I can scan her, and she's saying no. So I get no more from children than anybody else. It's really funny. Talk to her about it, and just say, Mommy's friend wants to scan you energetically, and just say it's fine. It'll be fine. It won't hurt. You won't even know what's going on, and say, would that be okay? And normally they'll say okay at that point. Okay. So call back in call back in once you talk to her and get her permission, and then also let us know what the cardiologist
absolutely.
does.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. I believe our next caller is Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
How are ya?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
You can, yeah. I am calling from Bethel, Connecticut.
Okay. And you got a question for me tonight?
I do have a question, but I also have a couple of just amazing statements. I have met Julie, and I just wanted to say how unbelievably amazing you are. You have been. I know. I don't want to cry. But a quick brief. Can I give a quick brief rundown?
Yeah, absolutely. Tracy and I met at our Woo Woo conference. I told all of you last week I went to my first Woo Woo conference, and so I met Trace down there, and she's just a doll, and so that sets it up. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, we met at the Woo Woo conference, and it was the best Woo Woo conference I've ever been in my life. And honestly, the second that Julie walked in, and I met her even before the conference started, and when she walked into that house and that room, we were all just hanging out. I connected with her. I was like, oh, my God, this woman is so awesome. I love her energy. Anyway, then we went to the conference. I had a reading with Julie, and 2 days later, what she had told me transpired exactly what she said, and I am like, whoa, blown away. I've been talking to Julie ever since that day. This is just, the past 4 days, and she has helped me with my mom. She told me that my mom was going to be in medical, need of me, like she's going to have a medical condition, and I was still literally in Florida. Julie had flown out on Sunday. Monday morning, I get a call. My mom's in the hospital. I'm still in Palm Beach, looking at the, broken trees that she was talking about. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. Julie told me this was going to happen 2 days ago. So anyway, get on the plane, get home, get to my mom, and I am literally in the hospital with her for the last 3 days. And Julie has been literally talking to me and scanning my mom and telling me everything that's going on. I'm talking to the doctors and the nurses, and everything has been on point. Julie has been so on point. And if it wasn't for you, Julie, oh, my God, I think I would be a wreck worrying about her. But I know that she's going to be fine because you're telling me she's going to be fine.
She is.
I know it. She is. Mm-hmm. She is.
She is.
So
you really had a scare with her. She was bleeding. Right,
bleeding.
And they had to take her into surgery to.
Oh my God!
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah,
really scary stuff.
Very scary. And what's curious is that you go into the hospital and they tell you bleeding internally, and it's like she's very lucky, and they're very lucky that they found where she was bleeding, because a lot of the times they can't find where the bleeding is coming from. They can't stop it, and done. And I was like, oh my God. So they found it, and Julie has been there with me ever since. She caught fever. Julie told me, she's got infection, and I told the nurse she got infection, and I didn't care what anybody thought. I said, listen, I'm talking to my psychic. I don't care what you think. Do this. I said, and make sure you check it out. And everything that you've told me has been so on point.
Good.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you. I love you so much for that. So,
my privilege, really, and honor. And by the way, there are no coincidences in life. I mean, give me a break. We met, and then your mom's in the hospital. Not even 24 hours later.
Not even 24 hours later. And I said it. I says, oh my God. All I thought about, Julie, like, there are no coincidences. I says, I know this happened for a reason. Yeah. And for the highest good of me and you, and it's
your mom.
Yes, and my mom. Right.
Well, did you have a question for me? Thank you for all those kind words, and it's really my honor and my privilege to. It really is an honor and a privilege for me to work with families, regardless of what's going on, whether they have an emergency situation like what you're going through, Trace, or if somebody's got a loved one who's dying or has just lost a loved one, or they just have something that seems kind of minuscule going on. For people to let me be a part of their lives is really an honor and a privilege, and I cherish that. So thank you for that opportunity. Thank your mom.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I believe that deep down in my soul and my heart, I know that you are truly one in a million, and do believe, and you are there for people. I read your book. I mean, that was done in like a few hours, and I'm like, oh my God, I know that you are true to heart, and you're just not some woo-woo person. As you call yourself, we're doing this woo-woo stuff. No, Julie is on point. Number one, I love you. Questions. I mean, the only question I have is, Mom going to be okay? You already told me. Yes, I know. She is.
She's going to make a full recovery. Okay.
And, all right. So one quick question then. Yeah. When are we moving to Florida? When is she moving to Florida? Yeah.
You get next year.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. That was curious to me, because we had a plan for next week, and I know it's not going to happen next week. So then I was just like, wow, when will it be? When,
I think they're going to want to monitor her for a while, and some of those other side things that I've texted you about that I'm seeing when I scan her, I think those are going to need to be addressed before she's really far away from you.
Thank you so much for that, because I would not have ever known to look for that or ask for that and even pursue that unless you text me. And oh my God, Julie, I love you. On point. Love this woman.
Okay, hang in there. Get some rest yourself so you can help take care of
Can you feel that? I'm exhausted.
You've got to be.
I know, but that's okay. I get the rest, and then I will take care of her again. Again, thank you so much, Julie.
You are most welcome. Thanks for calling in. Get some rest.
I will.
Bye. All righty. I believe our next caller is Diane. Hi, Diane. Are you with us?
Yes. Hi, Julie. Thanks for taking
my
call. Hi.
Yeah. How are you?
Good.
Good. Where are you calling us from?
Shelton, Connecticut.
Wow, we got all these Connecticut people on here tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually very close to Tracy.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
yeah, she's right up the road a little. Yeah, I just had a couple of questions. I wanted to follow up with our private session. Sure. I had called in for the medical scan, and you had said that you had seen that mold in my energy field in my lungs, and I had been suffering from chronic fatigue, and you were doing a healing where you were just kind of scraping it away. Like you said, you were like scraping off like old wallpaper. And it was funny because after the rest of the day and the day after, I got really sick, like a flu.
Oh, no.
I almost felt like I was detoxing, and then I was perfectly fine. It was just like a 24-hour thing. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it was a detox from that mold healing or whatever it was, but it doesn't matter. I would just like you to do a quick scan to see if it actually is still there, or if you could do that.
Sure. And if you want to, Diane, share with everybody that's listening where we figured out the mold is coming from.
Well, you had said you thought it was karmic.
Okay.
You had looked into a past life. In the Amazon, I was a healer. We were doing some kind of rituals with mold-like substances. Mm-hmm. That's what you had seen in a past life, and I don't know if this mold-like substance had just attached to my energy field throughout the lifetimes.
I thought we saw it where you work, too, in the ventilation system.
I don't think so, because I wanted to talk about where it was, but then we ran out of time.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it might be at work, or in the house, but I wasn't quite sure. And you said call back and we can talk. I can try to pinpoint where it's from.
Because we ran out of time on our private consult.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
I'm seeing it in a room where you work, and it's in the ventilation system. Tell me about the building that you work in.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, because I work at a Massage Envy, which is like a clinic for massage, and it's just all enclosed rooms. There's no windows. There's a vent that goes into each room. So we don't have any really fresh air. We just have this air that's vented in, air conditioning or heat.
Does it smell kind of musty ever in there? No,
not really. Not really.
Okay. All right. You may want to take one of those air purifier machines in there and run it. I don't know that you can run it when you have clients in there, but perhaps in between clients. Oh. Are you in the same room all the time, or are you in different rooms?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would leave it running when you're not in it. One of those tall air purifiers, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go get one of those and let it run. You still have it in your system. I believe the past life thing was what caused the energy field membrane tear that we talked about.
Yeah.
But I think you're exposed to mold right now.
Oh, and you see it at work and not in my house.
I believe it's at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe it's at your work.
Okay.
Yeah. So give that a whirl. Get one of those air purifier things and see if that helps some.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much, Julie.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All righty. I believe our next caller is Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Are you from Connecticut, too?
No, Hoboken, New Jersey.
Well, close.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, welcome. How may I help you?
I had a question about my skin. I've had a rash on my face for some time now, but it's gotten worse, and the doctor's medicines just don't seem to be clearing it up. But the worst patch is on my left cheekbone, and then I have spots of it on my right cheek and then on my forehead as well.
And is it just kind of red and
it's red and raised, and the worst patches are all grouped together unevenly.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said it was eczema, but none of the eczema medicines are working, and the soaps and it started many years ago, but it's just a lot worse now.
Eczema is really easy to fix. Here's how you do it. I do agree that it's eczema. What I'm watching right now is I'm watching it. You know what a putty knife looks like?
Yeah.
It's kind of has a straight edge on it, and then it comes down kind of in a U
flat
shape.
And wide.
I'm watching this energetic putty knife scrape this stuff off your cheeks, which is hilarious. Some of these visuals that I get of these healings, I laugh. I say, I can't make this stuff up. I'm not this creative. But I'm watching it get taken off your cheeks, almost like there's a scaly part of it underneath the red. It's almost like not like a scab, but more like if you have a wound that's seeping and then that stuff dries and it's kind of a clear, crunchy stuff that, you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
That's underneath it. Okay, so that's getting off. All right, new tissues being granulated in. It's really cool when I see new tissue or new bone or new whatever being granulated in, because it looks like if you were Tinkerbell and you threw magic sparkles in the air, but they were in fog that was clear fog and dry. That's what the energy looks like when new tissue is, or bone or muscle or cartilage or whatever is happening. And that's what's filling in the little bit of a divot that's been left by scraping that rash off of your cheeks. Does that make sense?
I think so.
You know how Tinkerbell in Peter Pan, she throws fairy dust and it just kind of sparkly sprinkles. All right, so that's what that looks like. So here's how you fix this. It's diet related. First of all, It's normally an allergy to wheat.
Okay. So 2 weeks ago, I started an elimination diet, and I've only been eating fruits and vegetables. But the autoimmune protocol version of fruits and vegetables.
All right. So I want you to tweak it a little bit. Okay. I want you to add a lot of really good fats, olive oil, refined coconut oil, organic, if you can swing it, grass-fed butter, avocados. Eat unlimited amounts of this stuff. That's normally what eczema will respond to, is you don't have enough fat in your diet. And you got to eat some protein, but just be sure it's good quality protein, like, free-range organic chickens if you can find it, and grass-fed beef if you can find that. Whole Foods has it. A lot of other stores will have it. Trader Joe's has it. Heck, even Target has grass-fed beef now. And so I want you to eat that, but two easy places to go. The first one is Eat Fat, Get Thin by Mark Hyman, Hyman, who's a physician. He's an MD, and he's head of functional medicine at the Cleveland Clinic. He talks about this in his book, but you can learn a lot from his website and his blogs. I believe his website is drhyman, hyman.com. And then the other one I want you to go to, Kimberly, is Bulletproof, BULLET, proof, all one word, .com/diet.
Okay.
And there you will find a food chart that you can download. Okay. And it will give you suggestions of what to eat. I believe you're allergic to wheat products, so stay away from refined stuff, sounds like you're already doing. But you've got to really increase your good fat intake.
So would it be okay to introduce the protein now before the rash clears up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I've been eliminating all of that.
The fat intake is going to be the biggest component.
Okay. Yeah, I've been eating a lot of good fats like the avocado and the olive oil, just not the proteins. So, I was told to wait until the rash completely went away to introduce the protein. But, it's been almost 2 weeks and the rash isn't gone. And at the same time, I'm getting very low energy with no protein.
Yep.
Okay.
You need the protein, and you're going to get a lot of energy from the good fat. So at bulletproof.com, you'll see a product called Brain Octane Oil. Okay. OCTANE, like octane in a car and gasoline. And that's what I use, and it's really highly refined, and it's called MCT oil, medium chain triglycerides, easy for me to say. And it's really refined, and I have found that works really well with my system, and my guess is it will work well with yours as well. And you can pour it on your vegetables. You can use it as salad dressing over your salad. You can use it in a lot of people put it in their coffee in the morning.
Okay.
And your energy level is going to increase immediately as soon as you start using that. But start off slowly with that, Kimberly, because as the guy who owns the company says, if you take too much of that stuff too soon, it can cause disaster pants.
Okay, that's good to know.
Which is a good way to, speak nicely of that condition. So I hope that helps. Let us know what you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a nice evening.
Okay.
Bye now.
Too. Thanks. Bye.
We do the show, everybody, every Thursday night, and it's at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-770-4160, and the access code is 533677#. And you can find this information a variety of places. First of all, on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. If you scroll down to the bottom of the home page, you'll see all this information there. Secondly, anywhere you download podcasts. I believe this show is distributed to about 30 different systems: iTunes, Stitcher, iHeart, Blueberry. There's a whole bunch of them. And in the show notes, the call-in information is there. And then also on my blog, when you're on my site, if you sign up for my blog, you'll see subscribe to Julie's blog, and you just put your first name in there and your email address, and then every Thursday morning, I send out a little question that somebody has submitted online and answer it. And this information's in the show notes. Also, while you're on my website, sign up for a private consult with me, because then we have a whole hour to discuss whatever you want to talk about. I tell people I'm a businesswoman that does woo-woo, and I offer a buffet of psychicness. So what that means is during our hour together, I can scan you, I can scan your pets, we can talk to your dead grandmother, we can do past life stuff, we can whatever you want to do, we can do. And it ends up being really fun and really informative. So speaking of questions submitted online, here's one from Nancy, and Nancy lives in Williamsburg, Virginia. And she said, "Good morning, Julie. Is my mom getting close to passing?" And here's my response. "Hi, Nancy. In order to check on your mom, I connected with you in Williamsburg and then from you to her. At this moment in time, your mother is in phase 7 of the 12 phases of transition." And you can go and see what the 12 phases of transition are on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. The last tab, there are graphics of the 12 phases of transition, and everybody goes through them as we're dying. Can happen in a second, or it can happen over days, weeks, months, but everybody goes through it. So phase 7 is the spirit exits the body through the top of the head, and it holds on to the top of the head, and it looks like a bubble. It reminds me of the cartoon caption bubble, where the words are in a cartoon of what the character is thinking. There are angels on either side of that spirit bubble. There is a semicircle of angels at Nancy's mom's feet, and deceased loved ones and friends and her deceased pets are there as well. Their spirits, her parents or maternal grandparents, if her parents are still alive, are anchoring the row of angels at her feet. So go on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and look at the graphics, and it'll make more sense to you. Okay, back to my response. Her spirit's out of her body and is attached to the top of her head in what looks like a bubble. Her parents' spirits are at her feet and anchor a horseshoe configuration of angels that stretch out both to the right and left. In addition, the spirits of many family and friends are behind the horseshoe of angels, and the spirits of deceased pets are also present. Furthermore, 2 angels are on either side of her spirit bubble. That's what I just described. And then I say, to see an illustration, go to my website. When someone is dying, I always ask them these 3 questions. Are you ready to go? Your mom said no. Are you in pain? She said yes. What do you need? Your mom said she just wants her family around her. So do your best to spend as much time as you can with your mom. People can progress through the phases in days, weeks, or months, so there's no way of telling how quickly she'll go without scanning her multiple times, which I'm happy to do. Contact me and we can set that up if you want. I do that all the time for people when they have a loved one who's dying. I went on to say, please consider reading my book, Angelic Attendance. That's what Tracy was talking about a couple minutes ago. It can help you navigate this journey with your mom by knowing what to expect. And the stories I mentioned in the book will position you to look for the little miracles that will inevitably happen in your family. Just go to AskJulieRyan.com and click on the book link. Hope this information helps. What I find when someone is dying, when we have a loved one who's dying, it's so heart-wrenching that if we can have this information, either while it's happening or beforehand, of angels and our deceased loved ones are there to greet our loved one and take them into paradise, it really helps add a glorious component when somebody is dying, and it's just shifts the energy around the whole situation. And most of the time when somebody's dying, it's awful for the family, but this really helps comfort the family, to the point where I've had many people over the years with whom I've worked say, please write a book about this, because this was so amazing and how it helped our family both during the dying process of our mom or whomever and also afterwards. So give that a try too. Okay, our next caller is Peter. Hi, Peter.
Yeah. Hi, Julie. How are you doing?
How are you, sir? Well,
Peter.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
San Francisco.
All right.
And the reason I'm calling is, and I'm going to try to make this brief.
Okay.
It's regarding Kat, my girlfriend who passed very close to just the end of September. Mm-hmm. No, the end of August. Mm-hmm. And things, I'm not in touch with the family right now, and there's some problems, so I'm kind of working on how to reconnect with them. And what I'd like to know is, what have they done with Kat's ashes? Mm. And have they scattered them? Have they had a ceremony? Have they had a memorial service and gone through that process? Something I'd like to do with them, but there's going to be some fence mending that needs to happen. Her son lives on the West Coast.
Okay.
So that's my question.
What I got, Peter, was they haven't done anything yet with her ashes. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I got while you were talking was they do plan to have a ceremony to scatter them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't believe that's happened yet. I don't think that's happened
yet. It has not happened. Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
The other question would be how she is doing in her transition process, how the whole thing is for her.
Oh, it's fabulous. She's in nirvana. It doesn't get any better than where she is. She's reached the proverbial mountaintop.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People when people die, heaven is a glorious place, and interestingly enough, people think of heaven being, up in the clouds somewhere. But your cat is just in non-physical. She's around you all the time. She's around her kids. She's around her other loved ones. Oftentimes I'll have people who are deceased, their spirits will tell me, this is great, because I can be all these places at the same time, and I can be with all the people who are important to me. So I believe when you called in real recently after she died, Peter, we talked about how you can talk to her. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember. No, I don't. I mean, I remember you saying she thought I was being overly dramatic.
Okay. Well, here's how you do it. You say something to her in your head. You can ask her a question. You can make a statement. You can whatever. And within an instant, as fast as you can snap your fingers, sometimes even before you can snap your fingers, you're going to get a thought. And if you take the very first thought that comes into your head, I mean within a nanosecond, that's going to be her answering you. If you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, Peter, that's going to be your brain answering you. The other thing I want you to remember is that spirits are crazy literal. Crazy literal. So be as specific in the questions that you ask as possible.
Okay.
So instead of saying, am I going to get a new car? And you're picturing a red Corvette in your brain, she's going to answer, am I getting a new car? But you may get like a red, 30-year-old jalopy thing. So am I going to get a red Corvette within the next week? Am I going to get a red Corvette next month? That kind of thing. So do you want to practice it? You want to practice it while we're together?
Right now? Sure.
Yeah. All right. So what's the question you want to ask her?
I'm trying to think. Okay, hold on here.
No Swiss bank account numbers, okay? Because,
No. So, I mean, people will ask, beloved people who've passed, they'll ask them, for advice. I mean, very specific things, like the red Corvette. I mean, I guess that's what you're saying. Okay, let me, I got to zero in and think what I would want to ask.
While you're thinking real quickly, I prefer people, if they're going to ask for advice, to preface whatever the question is, Peter, with, is it in my best interest to?
Okay.
Because our deceased loved ones, although we loved them and they were wonderful people while they were alive and they're wonderful spirits, now that they're non-physical, we don't know whether they're really the most enlightened person enlightened spirit in the bunch. So I'd rather have a collective consciousness of God, the universe, all the spirit guides, everybody out there, is it in my best interest to? Because I think when we ask just one individual deceased loved one, it's their opinion. And it's like, all right, is Grandma really the most enlightened spirit around me?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
But I thought you were talking about me tuning in specifically with Kat. No?
Yeah, you can talk to her, but when you ask advice, I would. You can ask her, but I would always preface it with, "Is it in my best interest too?"
Right. Okay. Well, I wasn't necessarily wanting advice, but maybe that would be a good thing. I think I'll just think about it and maybe not do it right now.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in.
Sure. Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Julie.
Take care, Peter.
Yeah.
All righty. Bye-bye. Okay. I believe our next caller is Isabel. Hi, Isabel.
Hey, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, girl?
Good. So I just have two things really quick for you so you can get some more callers. So my grandfather, Paul, came through, right? So I told my mom, and she said, "Oh, Isabel, I found old photos of my father in the middle of the room in the floor." And I busted out laughing inside. And I'm like, "Oh, look at Paul saying hello to his daughter."
Wow. So fill everybody, first of all, fill everybody in where you're calling from.
All right. So I'm calling from Bethel, Connecticut, and I met Julie on the retreat in Florida with my friend Tracy. And she brought in my paternal grandfather, who I never met, Paul, who is French. Right. And my mother was born in Paris. And Julie and I, we were talking, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm kind of curious about my grandfather. I've heard stories, not a lot, that kind of thing." And so we, similar to this call, we did it in person, and we brought in my grandfather, and we talked about my mom and her childhood. And a few days later, I spoke to my mom, and she said it was surprising to her. Photos that she hadn't seen in years and years and years were on the middle of her floor in a room. Just appeared.
Just appeared.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just appeared.
Cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
I tell you, this sounds woo-woo, but it's really helpful, isn't it?
It is. It really is. So I just have a quick question on your book. I do recommend everyone to read your book.
Thank you.
It's very well written, by the way, everyone. But you were going through your business partner's building, and you came across similar, I'm a big Harry Potter fan, sort of like the mentors. And I thought, gosh, it's so amazing that you didn't express any fear, right? And that, so when you come across a negative energy or a lower energy, right, a lower vibrational energy, you just intuitively knew to show them the light, right, to show them love. Because I'm thinking, and you can just confirm this, I'm thinking when you come across a lower energy, if you give love, it neutralizes them, right? You're giving love and light to them to help them.
What it does is it raises the vibrational level of that lower energy. And everybody, what Isabel's talking about is, I was in this office building that was haunted, and there was this energy that came out of this conference room down at the end of the hallway, and they looked to me like the mentors in Harry Potter. Those flying, bad guys that are Voldemort's buddies who have capes on and no faces, and they're really creepy and scary looking. Well, I knew intuitively and I knew intellectually that they couldn't hurt me or hurt my buddy who was with me. So what I did was I raised my vibrational level, which raised my friend's vibrational level, and it zapped them. And it zapped them like a Star Wars lightsaber beam. It was wild. that's how information comes into me so that I can get a visual of what's going on. And the cool thing about it was I said to my friend, what goes on in that room? And I said, is there like a lot of negative stuff that goes on down there? And he said, oh, yeah, corporate backbiting and people are like maneuvering against each other and nonsense. So that negative energy was in the room, was in the walls of the room, was in the furniture in the room, and it came out. And so we cleared it. So that's what that means. It was a representation of negative energy.
Excellent. That was the intellectual question that I had.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling in. Take care of Tracy.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, babe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see who's next. I believe we have Susie. Hi, Suze.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for taking my
call.
How
are you, girl? You bet. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
San Francisco Bay Area.
All righty. Quickly, I've got about 10 minutes left, and I got one or two more people I want to try and get to.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask about my husband's job. This is his first week of not having a job since his job moved to Texas, and we're not moving to Texas. So I'm just wondering if you see him getting the job, ideally he would get a job in like 2.5 months, because then he'd have, the severance for a couple months and then get a new job in 2.5 months. But I'm wondering if you have any clue as to when it looks like he might get a job, and if he's hoping to get something local, and if it's, looks like a job he'll like locally would be great. Or if it seems like that's not the case and it's going to be a lot longer. I'm just curious to get an idea of what you see.
When you asked, will he get a job in this area, I got a yes when you were telling me about that. Tell me what suburb you're in.
We're in the Tri-Valley area in East Bay.
Okay,
East Bay.
So Tri-Valley is what cities?
Like San Ramon, Danville, Wall Creek.
All right. So all East Bay stuff. All right. So let's be specific. You heard me talking to Peter about that. What's your husband's name, Susie?
Roy.
Well, Susie's Roy. How about that? We're specific. Well, Susie's husband, Roy, find a job in the East Bay area of San Francisco within the next 2 months. I got a yes before the question was even out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. Now, that's general. Will he find a job? So we can ask another question that's more specific if you want. What does he do?
Well, he has a master's in finance, but he's open to doing all kinds of other things too. He'd love to do like operations or something.
Okay, so does he do CFO kind of stuff or?
No, he just does finance stuff. Okay,
all right. And does he prefer to work for a bank or manufacturing, or does he have a preference?
No, he did like working as an operations manager at a manufacturing place, but we're just not sure where there would be one locally.
Right, right. Okay, so specifically, let me see if I'm going to get, will he get a job in manufacturing? No. In IT, an IT-related field, is I'm getting a yes on that at the moment. In healthcare, no. Just off the top of my head, some different segments of industry. In manufacturing, yes, but I think it may be IT-related, which would make sense based on where you are.
Okay, well, thank you so much, and I'll let you get to those other callers. Have a great week.
You are most welcome. You too.
That's such a relief. Thanks, Julie.
All righty. Bye-bye. Good luck. Good luck to him.
Thank
All right.
you.
And I believe our next call is Rosemary. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Julia.
How are you? It's Julie.
Julie, I'm so sorry. I've heard such incredible things about you. I have a very sick daughter who's been sick for over 5 years now. She has chronic Lyme. They want to call it chronic fatigue. The doctors don't agree. And she's just a brilliant, beautiful girl, and I'm just so exhausted. I've tried every modality. We're in the middle of doing something now. She's 17. I'm calling from Bethel, Connecticut with Tracy. Okay. I'm here with Tracy and Isabel.
This is like the Tracy fan club call tonight, which I love. Thank you for calling in, you guys.
Yeah. I've been following what she's been telling me. I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing. You really are.
This is the hospital entertainment for the evening.
So I'm having a very tough time. I'm kind of at my wit's end. I'm exhausted from it, and I just whatever energy you can send to help heal. If you have any answers, any suggestions.
Okay. Tell me your daughter's name, Rosemary.
Rosalie.
Rosalie. All right. Named after her mama by any chance?
Well, her grandmother is Rosalie, and I'm Rosemary. Yeah.
All right. So there's lots of roses in that equation.
Oh, yeah. Right. We have a bouquet.
I'm hooking into you. I'm going to hook into you, into Rosalie, see if I can get her permission to scan her. She's given me a yes. That's what I was telling you earlier. It's usually the little kids that won't let me scan them, which is just a riot. I think that's hilarious.
I was sending her messages. Come on, open up. Let this happen.
She is full of mold, Rosemary. Full of mold. Full of mold. So, couple of things. I want you to find a functional medicine doctor, and you can find one at functionalmedicine.org. And a functional medicine doctor is going to help you treat her with the mold. Lyme, a lot of the time, is misdiagnosed when it's a mold exposure. So she's got mold in her energy field, and we can do a private consult if you want and do more with that. But in the short run, find a functional medicine doctor who's going to reverse engineer her symptoms. And they're MDs who just have done an extra fellowship, and they treat the body as a whole system instead of just you go to the ENT for sinus infections and you go to the orthopedist for whatever, and you go to the pulmonologist for lung stuff and the cardiologist for heart stuff. Certainly there are applications for those specialties, but in Rosalie's case, she's full of mold. Do you have a pen? Can you write some of these down?
Go ahead, yeah. Hang on a sec. Let me get...
Okay. Or you know what? You'll get these on the playback, too.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a pen? Okay, go ahead.
I'll text these to Tracy, and you can get them. All right. So the first thing is survivingmold.com. That's a website that's going to have lots of information there for you and for her. The second one is moldymovie.com, and it's a documentary about how mold is just one of the missing diagnoses that are out there. A lot of people have been exposed to mold, and the doctors don't know it. Tell those girls to mute their phones for me, please.
Oh, can you mute the phone since there's a lot of noise in the background?
Yeah. So, moldymovie.com, paradigmchange.com, functionalmedicine.org. Find a functional medicine doctor. You'll see, Rosemary, when you go on that site in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little button that you can push that says Find a Practitioner. And if you put in your zip code, the docs that are in your area, a list of them will come up. And choose 2 or 3 of them and email me, and I'll rank them for you as to which will be the, in order, which will be the best ones for Rosalie to see. The other thing you can go to is the American Academy of Environmental Medicine.
Now, the pediatrician can't. I don't go through him for this.
The pediatrician isn't going to know how to diagnose it or how to treat it.
No, he hasn't. It's been years,
they don't.
Wow, this is amazing because my son, I'm worried about him. He has a bedroom in the basement, and I was just telling him we need to check for mold. I would have never associated because she's upstairs. There's no mold upstairs.
Well, and it may be in her school.
Huh.
I did a, and on a private consult, I can scan the buildings and stuff, and I can tell you where they are, where the mold is. I did that this morning for a family that lives in the Sierras in Northern California, and I get a vision. I got a vision of their house. We walked into their house. I said, your family room's in the back right corner, and you got a mold problem in that far right back corner and along the whole back side of your house. So we can detect that. I also have another client that I just talked to recently, and her school was very moldy. And she said, yeah, they just came in to remediate it. And I said, well, I don't know that it's fixed, and you've had a lot of mold exposure. So I will shoot Tracy an email with all of these different links on them, and you'll hear them on the playback too.
Okay? Oh, that's phenomenal. I keep telling the doctor we've missed something. We're missing something.
Yeah. You're missing mold. Yeah.
Wow.
So, well, give Tracy a hug, and thanks for calling in. And
you don't see Bartonella at all?
No.
No.
When I see somebody with Lyme disease, it looks like little bugs, little ticks in their energy field. She doesn't have that. She's got mold. I'm not seeing any of that.
Okay.
So, but when you Google mold and Lyme disease, you'll read a lot of stuff about how mold toxicity is misdiagnosed as Lyme, often.
Wow.
So I'm gonna need to let you run, but thanks for supporting my new friend Tracy up there, and set up a private consult and we can talk about this in length.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Have a great night. Thank you.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I think we got everybody in, and got about a minute left to spare. So thanks to everybody who called in. Thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks to those of you who submitted questions online. I will get to those as we go forward on subsequent calls and also in my blog. If you get a minute, please go to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and give this a 5-star rating, because it helps other people find us, first of all. And secondly, if you get my book and read it, please go to Amazon and give it a 5-star rating and a few comments too, because that helps other people find it as well. And the thing about my book, which is Angelic Attendance, what really happens as we transition from this world into the next. It's very heartwarming. It's funny at places. It's some of the stories are pretty incredible. I even think they're incredible, and I lived them. And I think you'll find a lot of comfort in it. Certainly, every one of us is going to be dealing with the death of a loved one and eventually our own deaths. And I think it just makes sense for you to know what to expect. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Love and hugs to all the people in Vegas and elsewhere with the hurricanes and earthquakes. And until next week, take care, everybody. Bye now.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Twitter at AskJulieRyan and like her on Facebook at AskJulieRyan. For information on how you can ask Julie your question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.